So you might be thinking, Wally, clearly you've lost your mind, because how can you have a Pioneer tier list? I mean, don't all Pioneers just get 70 hours a month? Calm down, take my hand, and let me show you how we make a proper tier list. That was kind of creepy. You know what? Just Pioneer tier list. Whenever I look back on about the decade that I spent pioneering, I can remember there being so many different types of people, and I thought it would be really fun and funny and help people reminisce on the horrible memories they had about all the pioneers that they knew in their congregations. So let's get into it. Gotta pull up my screen record, start recording. Well, this is awkward. I swear it never takes this long.
I swear it never takes this long. I swear it never takes this long.
First off on the list, you can see is the Phantom Pioneer. What is the Phantom Pioneer? Well, let me show you. All right, so let's make some car groups and get out there. Does anyone have any plans today? I have a Bible study I'm going to be going on, so I'm all taken care of. Oh, excellent. Would you like someone to go with you on your Bible study? Oh, no. He actually prefers a one-on-one, so it's all good. Yeah, okay. Okay. Anybody else? It's really just so hard because, everyone's always, talking behind my back, and I hear the whispers that they say, ooh, he's the Phantom Pioneer, how does he make his time? But you know what? Jehovah sees what I do, and I have a lot of Bible studies, it's fine, and when we're all in the paradise, they won't be whispering anymore. The Phantom Pioneer is just an absolute nutter in the congregation. Every congregation that I ever served in, there was always one person that you never saw. And the few times that they showed up, they were like skittish and just like wanting to get more territories and a bunch of literature. They'd have like boxes of literature in their cars, and they grab a bunch of territories, and then they would always work by themselves and just disappear, like off into the night. There was this one guy I remember. He was reporting that he was placing something like 300 magazines a month, and I literally only saw him maybe like one Saturday a month. It was really bizarre. And then he would always have all these different territories. But the Phantom Pioneer, they're a strange bunch. You gotta love them. So I think when it comes to the tier list, that our Phantom Pioneer should get C tier, because at least they don't annoy you too much. You don't always having to interact with them. So for that, we'll give them a C tier. But just for the fear of your life, just because they were so odd. Well, I guess all witnesses are kind of odd. But, if you go back in your witness brain and you use the Jehovah's Witness metric scale algorithm thing, then it all makes sense. So, moving on to our next on the list, we have the Elmer's glue symbol, which can only mean it has to be a Clingy Pioneer. All right, so who's got plans today? Me and Eric, we had plans to work together, so we're just gonna, be good by ourselves. Honestly, I just feel more comfortable working with the particular people in the congregation. They understand my circumstances, and, we just get along. The funny thing about the Clingy Pioneer is that, Watchtower, I believe they even made a video about it.
Yes.
Like how people were always working together, and then the elders had to come and counsel them about branching out. It's something that is so common that I think even Watchtower realizes that every congregation is going to have that. But it's not too bizarre, because you kind of think, well, naturally you just get along with some people better than others. And so in order to sustain the craziness that is pioneering and devoting all of that time and all of that energy and all of those resources, it's nice if you can be with people that you like, your friends. So the Clingy Pioneer, it would get a little bit annoying if you were on the outside of the cool group, and that makes it like an absolute D tier. But on balance, if you were part of the cool group, then it was pretty good. So I think we'll give the old Elmer's Glue Clingy Pioneer a fat B tier. Now we have another personal favorite of mine, and that is someone that manages to work full-time and pioneer together. So, does anyone have any plans today? Yeah, I can't be in any sort of group that's gonna be dilly-dallying around with lunch breaks and whatnots. I need to keep my time going because I have a full-time job. Okay, so does anyone else want to work all the way through lunch? It's just so freaking hard to balance all of the responsibilities that I have, but you know what? It's all a blessing from Jehovah. You already know where they're going. These are just some of the worst type of pioneers. They are so condescending. They're constantly reminding you that, oh, well, I work full time and I'm able to pioneer, so why can't you? It's just so aggravating. Everyone's circumstances are different. Everyone's, mental health is different. And the fact that you probably just cheat on your time, because every person that did work full time and pioneered, it never quite added up what they were reporting. And I'm sure they were just doing letter writing for, 6 hours every night or something. And then boom, you make your time. No problem whatsoever. So yeah, I think the people that think that it's possible to work full time and pioneer is just ludicrous. So they're going definitely at the bottom of the list. Now, this is probably the moment you've all been waiting for, because you ask yourself, well, Wally, you pioneered. What kind of pioneer were you? Well, I was what I like to call the September to May Pioneer. September to May, biatches! Yeah, it's really nice getting my time in super early. The motto I go by is early in the day, early in the week, early in the month, early in the year. That's right. I would get all of my time in between September and May, because that's when the service year starts for anybody that doesn't know. It's always from September to September. And yeah, for the first, I would say 5 or 6 years, I always was done with my time. And looking back, I think I still have my Excel spreadsheets of like the time and magazines and all that crap.
Yes.
But looking back, I would average about 7 to like 10 hours between June, July, and August. I just was not interested. I would show up, do my Bible studies, if I had any, do a couple return visits, make that little token appearance, find some excuse to be like, okay, later, skater. So that was the way to do it. If your circumstances allow and you weren't working full time, it was just the best. So I have to give myself an S tier, obviously, because where else would I put myself? Clearly an S tier. Now, if you weren't me and you were, had to be one of the other pioneers that was like struggling and, those days in August when it's 100 degrees out and you're just like sweating your nuts off. That must have been one of the most aggravating things to see me just, chilling at home, reading books, going out and doing whatever I wanted, hiking. So I guess maybe I'll have to balance myself out and just give myself a B tier for that one. Next up is one of our favorites, and you all know and don't love him. That is going to be the elder that's also a pioneer. You know who I'm talking about. Let's bring him back. All right, so Roger, could you please tell us some of the privileges that you enjoy in the congregation?
So after I graduated MTS, I really realized the importance that, having an elder and a pioneer as the service overseer. And so I took it upon myself, made some sacrifices and adjustments in my life, and then I was able to finally join the pioneer ranks. And I think that the whole congregation was blessed by me, taking this step and making those sacrifices.
Please, sir, I want some more.
So the congregation just, I feel, really benefits from, having an elder that's also a pioneer. They're just able to come to me with any questions that they have. They're really able to, have access to the literature and the territory. And I just feel like, the whole congregation really benefits from me, being able to be a pioneer and an elder. I always think about it like this. One time I heard a brother give this beautiful illustration, and he went on,
Shut the up!
Oh, our favorite Roger comes back for more. You guys already know this guy's the service overseer. He tells terrible jokes, and they're never funny. He works so much harder than most of the other elders in the congregation that there's this weird mixture of, I guess, arrogance that kind of comes with it. So I mean, I guess you have to like respect the hustle a little bit. So maybe we won't put them at the bottom. Maybe we'll just give them a C tier so they don't feel too badly about themselves. Next up is the Stopwatch Pioneer. What were they like?
always pack your own lunch and make your own coffee, and you won't have to stop for a break.
Well, not a lot to say about the Stopwatch Pioneer. They're kind of just always looking at the clock, always making sure they don't go on a break for too long. They're always, packing their own lunch, and it's really annoying. But the funny thing with the Stopwatch Pioneer, and that is why they are going to get an A tier, is that they were so fun to mess with, because they would just get worked up into a frenzy if you weren't like starting your time right away, if you weren't like in the car within a minute after they say the concluding prayer at the meeting for service, if you didn't have any magazines or you didn't have any literature, or if they had to come back to the hall to pick someone up, anything that disrupted their little stopwatching would just aggravate them. So I would pretty much just plan on it if I didn't like them all that much, and it just made for some fantastic laughs. Some great jokes, so we'll give them an A tier just because, sometimes it's fun to mess with people. Why not? Next up is that person that you can never figure out. They're the complete mystery of the Pioneer world. It's someone that let me just show you.
Well, it looks like we're all done with our territory. Do you have any return visits you want to catch up on?
Yeah, let me check real quick.
See what we got over here in the old return visit book. Oh, already did that one.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So how these people manage to spend 70 hours every month and never have a single thing to do. And I pioneered with so many people that were like this. And it's like, were you just along for the ride? Did you just want the status? I just want to be called a pioneer, but I don't want to do anything that might come along with it. So they get a D tier. You're out there that much, at least have something to do. I mean, even if you're out trying to indoctrinate people into a cult, have something to do. Take a little pride in it. I mean, do something. And these were always the most boring people. They had zero personality, just completely vanilla, not great at conversation, just not someone you want to be in a car group with, not fun whatsoever. The last one, I didn't do a skit for this one just because I didn't feel like it, but it's going to be the single mom. And in the realm of pioneering, in, the trenches, firing arrows and fighting Satan off, you have to just say this was the real hero of the show. The single mom that would come out and, drag her kids around in a stroller in December and February when it's cold and rainy. She was a real trooper. And another thing about the single mom pioneer, they were always very lighthearted. They were always a lot of just like fun to be around. They were very upbeat. They were very positive. They weren't negative. And they probably had it the hardest of any of the other pioneers. The single mom pioneer in my book was always the one that was working harder, just in general, to pioneer than anyone else in the congregation, and even more than, the elders. But the elder pioneer, they're always so arrogant, or the full-time worker, they're always so arrogant, and sometimes not that much fun. But the single mom, you knew that she had some fight in her, always a lot of energy, and was just generally good company and fun to be around. Well, that is going to end another pointless tier list video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Oh, wait, there was no cats in this one. Shit.